What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, Jay Nog, and we are here, of course, with the President of the United States of Mar-A-Lago of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, happy Halloween.
I've been told by my advisors that Halloween might be not great for strong Christians, but looking into it. But Halloween is nice, nice. It's good. We think it's good. We think it's, there's certain people think maybe differently, but we think it's still good. We're not going to do cancel culture on Halloween.
Is Mar-A-Lago decorated with like spider webs and pumpkins and things like that?
We do, melatonin. Remember Christmas decorations? She goes for a little more dreary on
Yes.
Halloween. So she goes with like blood streaks all over the walls and
Okay.
sort of a real terrifying sort of approach. And so it's a real haunted house,
What kind of candy is given out at Mar-A-Lago, or is it not candy and excuse me, like a souvenir of some sort?
Well, what we do is we let the people take a picture with me,
That's nice.
and
That's
they
a
get to
treat.
keep it
That's a treat.
that's a treat, not a trick. It's a total treat. A trick was what they did with the election, but now we do treats here. We don't do tricks. And then that's about it. We keep the candy. Actually, the guests have to bring candy. We do it a little differently. It's like, stay in Mar-a-Lago, that's already your treat. You get to see, Ivanka's dressed as sexy woman in a very cold room where they don't have any bras. So she's going with that classic costume. And it's sort of, you get to be around the president. So they have to bring treats and candy and other things. And we just allow them to be there and get a picture with me.
Are there any crazy parties going on tonight at Mar-A-Lago that you are heading over to?
Even though people say I'm very young, I feel very young, I look great. Tonight I'm taking it sort of easy because we usually, it's a Monday. So we had, tonight some of the more family friendly party. We did have a very strong party on Saturday, very strong adult Halloween party. We actually, Roger Stone's wife comes dressed in all orange, and her costume is JackO'ff lantern. And so everybody comes, well, everybody comes, that's for sure, but everybody comes to the party, and she just sits there like like a big smile, like a big JackO'ff lantern. And it's very nice, it's very traditional, it's very Christian, and everybody has fun.
Do you ever dress up for any Halloween? Have you ever dressed up for any Halloween?
When I was younger, I used to partake in the costumes and whatnot. But as I'm older and as a president, I feel like you wouldn't see Xi dressed in a costume, would you? You wouldn't see Kim Jong-un, you wouldn't see Putin. And I think at some point, and by the way, you don't see Obama dressing up either. Okay, so it's at least he knows. I'm sure Sleepy Joe dresses up as, the Quaker Oats guy or something. But even Obama, at least Obama has sort of the personal dignity to not look like a fool. So no, I think at this point, my days of dressing up in costumes are over. Obviously, this isn't the Fred Trump tradition from one of the great bonus episodes from a couple of years. I mean, the one people still talk about.
Yes.
But we also had one where we would go out, this is not discussed, but we would go out dressed as police officers. So if the cops caught us, we could say, it's Halloween. It's called Halloween, sir. We'd say, sir, we didn't mean it, but we'd say, sir. And then we would Halloween arrest prostitutes. And instead of a haunted house, the great Fred Trump would set up the basement of our house to look like a police station. And we'd go down there and we'd put them in the cell. And, we'd just see how badly they wanted to get out of prison. And so it's a great tradition. We respect that. So that's the last time I used to dress up. And other than that, no, I think I host. I do strong hosting. And I think a suit. I think a suit is what I should be in now.
Is there any crazy costumes that you saw today around Mar-A-Lago that sticks out to you?
Yeah, well, I saw, Kim Gargoyle was, I think, going as a glazed donut for Halloween. Don Jr., I think, was going as talcum powder.
Okay.
Not a great costume, but I thought very original, to be honest. To give, I don't like to give him too much credit, but Eric was either going as Sloth from the Goonies, or that was just Eric. Melania,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your wife. Yeah.
Who?
Your wife.
That's not a name. That's
Okay.
something more foreign.
Melania. Maleficent.
Magenta. Excuse me. Magenta
Magenta.
went as a depressed, retired porn star, which is a nice costume.
And what did Barron go with? Or Bartholomew? Barron, 6 foot.
Oh, Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
Yes, Beetlejuice. What did Beetlejuice go as?
Oh, Beetlejuice went. I thought he would have gone as Beetlejuice. It's like, tall guy, your name's Beetlejuice. Why not? You got half the job done already. Now, Beetlejuice. Oops, I just said his name 3 times, so he might show up. Beetlejuice actually went as. What was his name? Gonorrhea Anacampo.
He went as a basketball player.
Gonorrhea Anacampus.
He went as Giannis.
The Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, Gonorrhea Anacampo.
Okay. He didn't go in blackface, did he?
Did he go in black? No. First of all, gonorrhea is sort of more of a brown, not black. So
Okay.
no, what very creative. I'll give Malomia when was very into makeup because she was very strong in fashion. So she actually came up with an idea for Beetlejuice. She took all the chocolate that people left for Halloween and they melted it.
God. Okay.
And sort of bathed. He sort of bathed in it. A big tub, by the way, kids 9 feet tall. They bathed him in a bathtub of chocolate, and then he
went to
put on
the
his
Hershey.
gonorrhea.
He went to the Hershey factory and jumped in one of the vats.
Oh no, that's no. The Hershey Highway is where Roger Stone's wife was. But no, they went. No, it was. I don't even think it might have been Cadbury. It might have been many other chocolates. And a lot of them. It was a lot of them because you need a lot. The kids tall. You need a lot of chocolate. So he got in the bathtub and just sort of let the chocolate kind of encase him, and then he got out of the bathtub covered in chocolate, so it's a nice candy treat. And he put on a gonorrhea Adababumbo jersey. Yeah, they call him the Greek Freak. You should have seen. Yeah, Mike Pence showed up and said, "I'd like to take a bite out of that, sir." And then he put on the jersey, and we poked little eyes out of the chocolate and nose so he could breathe. And he walked very strongly throughout the house, and people said, "Who are you?" And he said, the kid's got an accent. He was like, "Oh, I am gonorrhea and the bumbo." And people said, "Oh, very nice, very nice." No cancel culture here. So I'm sure there's going to be some left-wing thing that we'll call that blackface, but it's actually high-quality chocolate face.
So he was basically encased in a chocolate shell that he walked around in tonight.
I mean, I give
like a real life Easter bunny. Could you get the chocolates and you could poke holes in them?
Mauritius is a great wife, and she's very talented, and I give her credit. She really got that kid into a very tall chocolate costume. So, you know, I was proud of him. I was almost proud of him. Like, I don't know if he was my own, I might have been the same level of proud.
Well, Mr. President, some bad news. Paul
Bears.
Pelosi, some Paul Pelosi.
No, it's okay. At least it's crazy Nancy Pelosi. It's not Paul Pelosi. I mean, I wouldn't.
No, it's
She's got
her
those.
husband. Her husband.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
She's got those big cans. I mean, she's an epi winner. So the one thing we're not going to do here, we can criticize her for being crazy, for being old, for being a woman, for being radical left, but she is a woman and she has big cans, and we respect big cans. Big cans have no party. That's how I say it's.
Well, Paul Pelosi was attacked in their home, and I think his skull was fractured. And Don Jr. decided to
Who's
troll
Paul
him.
Pelosi?
Paul Pelosi, isn't that her husband?
Well, I don't, you know, when I stare at Iraq, I'm not looking for a husband.
Well, he was the one who was hurt.
Okay, it's Paul Pelosi. I could put PP. Was PP hurting the PP?
No, he was hurt in his head. It was Nancy Pelosi's husband who was attacked in their home. He was knocked in the head. And then your son, Don Jr., decided to troll him online and put a meme up and make fun of the whole situation. I want to know what your thoughts were on that, because if you were hurt and someone else did that to you, I'm sure you'd be very upset. If you were attacked in your home and someone put a meme about you being beaten, it would be
Oh
be
yes,
sad,
because the
right?
radical left is so nice to me on the internet, tech stuff guy. No, they would have been. It's a good question. Oh, what if, sir? What if the biggest, strongest president we've ever had was attacked in his home? Oh, great question, tech stuff. You know what would have happened? You'd have a dead attacker. That's what you'd have. You'd have a dead attacker. And the left wouldn't like that. They'd say, oh, how can you do that, sir? It's called toughness. It's called strength. And you don't come into my house and do that to me. You don't do it. So I respect Nancy Pelosi, but you'd think, I don't know about Paul, because you'd think years, decades of sort of lifting those up give you strong, nice arm strength. You get good triceps and pecs. Okay, crazy Nancy, I'm lifting them. Oh, they're getting bigger. Got to do more reps. Got to do more reps. And instead, he obviously wasn't doing that. And he was probably going for power walks like all the weak liberals do. But no, we respect. We wish him. We wish him a great recovery and total respect.
Now, I'm surprised they're millionaires many times over. There's no security in that home. I mean, they're very public figures. Aren't you surprised there wasn't security?
They spend all their security money on high-powered bras to keep
For her
Nancy's
security?
cannons caged. So you have to invest in high-tech bra technology. So no, I think that we're learning that Democrat states are very unsafe. I'm surprised they don't have security, but Democrats, they're not Second Amendment people. They're no amendment people. That's what they want. They want no amendments. And we love our Second Amendment. And I tell you, if they had tried to walk into, if, let's just say, a Chicago criminal simply walked anywhere near my house, you'd have 6 patriots shooting him before he could even think about coming to my house. He might not have even been thinking about coming to my house, but a patriot would see a Chicago thug wearing your Jordans and drinking a red Kool-Aid or whatever, whatever a
40 ounce of
nasty criminal
OD,
does. Oh,
a 40 ounce.
a red Kool-Aid, as I was saying. And all of a sudden, they would shoot him dead because they'd say, "Sir, I think he might have thought about intruding on your property." So the Pelosi's need to get better security, and it's sad. It's sad that our policies are so bad that it's driving people to try and save the country, and they're attacking her husband, who's clearly weak, and it's sad. And I sent I sent a fruit basket to her husband because it's a nice thing. So I sent Mike Pence sitting in a basket to the hospital to say our best wishes, and that's about it. Other than that, we need a strong country. We need strong leaders, and Paul Pelosi and Nancy Cans. Maybe it's more like Nancy Cants right now because she can't keep her husband safe. Those weapons of breast destruction were in Washington D.C. and maybe they should have been defending her husband. But we respect them and we wish a healthy recovery because it's got to be tough being married to crazy Nancy. So he doesn't need any more problems. No more problems. We don't want any more problems. Peace. You know what, tech stuff? We want peace. And I think the
Yes.
best way for peace is to elect Republicans and to find all the pedophile Democrats, and then we'll have peace.
Mr. President, I wanted to ask you one more thing about Paul Pelosi being attacked in his home. Do you think Nancy Pelosi is going to try to spin this and say that the right was behind this?
Well, of course, she's not going to do it now. She's too smart. A politician. She's nasty, but she's smart. But what she's going to do is she's going to say, "Oh, look, this guy thought the election was stolen and thought QAnon had good ideas and that Trump is his president and many other things from Truth Social and Fox News." And then they're going to take those 9 or 10 things and say, "Oh, he's clearly part of the right wing." No, it's a total coincidence if he thought those things. It's a total coincidence. And it would be disgraceful to turn this into politics. Just because this guy was a political terrorist doesn't mean it should be made politics.
Now, Mr. President, I wanted to move on to a man who supported you, his ex-wife, strong criminal justice reform, Kanye West, however you know him.
My own
He's
word.
being he's being canceled right now, going after Jewish people. He was dropped by Adidas. He was dropped by the Gap. He was dropped by JP Morgan Chase, CAA. Basically everyone is canceling him. What are your thoughts on this? That he's being canceled. This French fashion house, Balenciaga, dropped him also.
Balenciaga. Look who
MRC,
doesn't know
CAA,
fashion. Look who does not know fashion.
Foot Locker, TJ Maxx, Home Goods, Marshalls, Christie's, Madame Tussauds, his legal representation. Everyone is dropping him. Now, what are your thoughts on this?
Okay. Texas, if you listen to the show, we've had a lot of tech stuff people on, and I think almost all of them have been Jewish people. And so we have a great relationship. I mean, I fired a lot of them, but I've hired a lot of them as well. A
It's
great
true.
relationship with the Jewish people. I did more for Israel than any person alive, including formerly Tough BB. And I have a Jewish daughter. and Jewish grandsons and grandpeople. So nobody has more respect for the Jewish people, and nobody has done more for Jewish people. And they call me Handsome Moses when I go to synagogue. Did you know that? When I enter a synagogue, they say, "Oh, it's Handsome Moses. Thank you, sir." And it's a beautiful thing. So when I say that, I'm telling you my credibility with the Jewish community. Okay. So when I
Mm-hmm.
say that what's happening to Kanye, yay, my N word, is a total unfair cancel culture disgrace.
So where is crossing that line? You don't think he cross any line where people who have business relationships with him, you don't think it's going to hurt their business that he has been anti-Semitic?
I think it's going to hurt their business more by not being with Kanye.
I mean, let's face it, the man has some mental health issues and needs to get help. I don't think canceling him is going to be the thing that wakes him up. I think he needs some strong medical attention. So maybe
I think,
canceling culture, I agree with you, is not going to help him in this situation. But I don't know what kind of $1 million business when you're anti-Semitic towards Jews, you keep this person on board,
well, I
let
think what
alone
needs to
anti-Semitic
happen,
versus anyone.
what I have to say is, what I think he has to do is the same way his wife, Kim Kardashian, did criminal justice reform. I think she needs to go see Yay and do anti-defamation reform and suck the anti-Semitism out of him.
Is that possible?
I think all things with Kim Kardashian are possible when it comes to sucking. I think that's what you got to do. I think you got to do, they have kids together. He's the father. And I think she is uniquely talented enough. And from her criminal justice reform experience, I think she can do it. I think she can, do strong anti-defamation and make him see how to be a nicer person and less anti-Jewish. Because right now, some people could interpret some of the things he said as possibly anti-Jewish. I'll say that. I'll say that possibly some of what he said is slightly hinting at a mild form of temporary anti-Jewishness. I'll say that. I'll
How do you
say
know
that,
it's
and that's on the
temporary?
podcast record. I'll say that on the podcast record. It's temporary because I think it's temporary. I don't know if I'm saying I'm using my expert opinion. I'm not guaranteeing it's temporary, but I think it's temporary. I think he's gonna get back in the studio and make some strong music. And already people are worried about the brands. I saw his notebook, and I think he's got to deal with Nike already that
Oh,
nobody's
really?
talking about. I mean, they misspelled Nike. It had two Ks instead of the N, but it, I'm not going to say it because the people misinterpret, but I think whatever shoe brand he's signed with, it rhymes with Nike or it's spelled close to Nike. So I think he's on his way back. I think he's on his way back, and he's going to be stronger than ever because people love to tear strong men down, but then they like to see strong men resurrect themselves, like Jesus, who, by the way, was Jewish.
Mm.
So how about that? How about that?
So
Kanye and
Jesus
Jesus.
Walks, that song, Jesus Walks, he was really singing a pro-Jewish song. So how can he hate Jews if his song is so pro-Jewish?
The tech stuff people, they almost never make a good point, but today you get a gold star, not just because it's Jewish.
It's a Jewish gold star.
That's right. And we'll throw some Jewish coins of chocolate. I think Barton saved a couple of Jewish coin chocolates that he didn't bathe in. So you can have some of those too. It's called
Awesome.
not anti-Semitic. It's called pro-Semitic.
I wanted to ask you also, Mr. President, you are attempting to ask the Supreme Court not to release your tax returns.
Yes,
Before you had no
very nicely. I asked very nicely.
before you had no problem with them releasing anything. I have nothing to hide. I'm nothing to hide. And then why you want to hide things now?
Well, because now we're dealing with a very unfair, very disgraceful fake presidency.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't trust the people in charge if they can steal tech stuff. If they can steal an election,
Right.
you think they won't do things to my tax records, my strong tax records, my very honest tax records?
So you're afraid since they stole the
No,
election.
excuse me. No,
Okay, I'm
absolutely
sorry.
not.
You're not afraid at all. You're not
It's called
afraid of
concern.
anything.
It's called concerned.
Right. So you're concerned that they are going to
Thank you.
change your tax returns because they changed the election.
There's nothing bigger than stealing an election. So after that, it's like when you cheat on your first wife. Okay. When I cheated on Ivana,
Mm-hmm.
once she caught me doing that, I said, okay, darling, I won't cheat anymore. But, you know, head is not cheating. So once I've crossed that, then it was every Friday night. It was, a new model giving head because oh no, don't worry, I'm not cheating. That doesn't count because once you get used to it. So they once you steal an election, that's like cheating. That's like full sex with
Right.
somebody that's not your wife. After that, messing with your taxes is just a model coming over for an appointment and giving you strong criminal justice reform. Doesn't feel,
Gotcha.
you don't feel as guilty. So they're gonna take my taxes, and I don't know what the hell they're gonna do, but they're gonna do bad things, very bad, very nasty things, very stranger things. There's actually a show on Netflix about what they want to do to my taxes. It's called
Yes.
Perfect Strangers, where an illegal immigrant shows up and, does some not so great things in a nasty crime-ridden city like Chicago.
Now, as president, we have a few more news stories to go. Just want to remind all listeners, join the Patreon, patreon.com/MPGA. We just released this month's bonus material. Don Jr. was the host of the live episode. Also, his video is released of that as well. We had Barron Trump or Bartholomew. He hosted the bonus
It's
episode this past month.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice Trump.
Excuse me. Do not
Yes.
disrespect mashed potatoes, son.
Yes, he hosted the bonus episode this past month. Lots and lots and lots of bonus material, $5 level, $6.90 level, $10 level. There's hundreds of hours available for you. So join the Patreon. If you're a fan of the podcast, you will just become even a bigger fan. Patreon.com/MPGA. Follow the whole storyline with everything going on because there's lots of secret stuff on the Patreon that we do not talk about on the regular episodes. Patreon.com/MPGA. Holidays right around the corner, and give someone a treat for the holidays. Patreon.com/MPGA. Mr. President, it's official. Elon Musk owns Twitter. No reaction.
I think he's a smart guy. I think he's talented. I don't know if he can save Twitter. If he was smart, he would have bought Truth Social.
Well, he did fire all the legal and ethics people on Twitter, the people who were behind banning you. Now,
Well, excuse me.
Yes.
That's how you know he's trying to catch up with Truth Social because we never had any legal and ethic people. We don't have them to fire. We already knew that we didn't need legal and ethics on Truth Social. We need truth, and we need some social. And so it looks like Elon. Oh,
It's taking a page out of your playbook.
what's his name?
Elon Musk.
Right. Ethan Musk wants to try to be Truth Social. He's probably going to call it Twit Social.
I doubt it. Maybe.
Well, you're fired, so
Now,
who cares if you doubt it?
if he invited you back to Twitter, especially with,
Excuse me, he's already invited me back.
are you going to come back to Twitter?
He said to me,
Have a Twitter
well,
and True Social. Why don't you just ride both, and whatever you put on True
he
Social, put
said
on Twitter?
he was like, "Hey, what's up, bro? Do you want to join my new site? Do you want to come back to my site and like come back and make Twitter super cool?" And I said, "You'd like me to come back to Twitter because you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. You paid a lot of money for Twitter for a failing radical left site, and you're in trouble." And he said, "Yes, bro, dude, I'm totally in trouble. Can you help me?" And I said, "I'll think about it, Ethan. I'll think about it, and we'll see." And Egon, he left and went to find the other Ghostbusters. And I said, "Who are you gonna call?" "Donald Trump." And we'll see. We'll see if I decide to save Elon's Twitter. Because I might not. I might not.
So I guess we're going to have to just find out. It's a we will see
Oh,
for you about joining Twitter and having a Twitter True Social. Because think about it. You had so many Twitter followers. You have so many True Social followers. You will literally corner social media with all your followers from Twitter and True Social.
what about Instagram?
Well, Twitter and Instagram, aren't they attached? So you would get Instagram also.
Twitter is not. It's Facebook and Instagram. We call him the tech
Oh,
stuff guy, and he doesn't even know that Android Zuckerberg owns Instagram and Facebook.
I don't know. I can't help you with that one, but Twitter True Social still huge impact. Lots of tweets and truths going out there into the world.
You know, but I got so used to sharing truths that I don't know if I want to share tweets because people now know that my brand is 100% total truth. And if I start doing tweets, they'll be like, "Sir, is this a truth? How do we know this is truth?" Because it's on a fake, a site that hosts fake news, unlike Truth Social, which hosts truth
Have you thought
socially.
have you thought about making NFTs out of your truths?
By the way, with Ben Carson, he's a non-fuckable token. Nobody
Not
wants him.
not the same NFT we're talking about here.
Well, that's where like
It's
the
like
San
digital
Francisco.
art.
No, the NFT is like where the San Francisco 49ers and Rams and like Giants play, right? And then they got the AFT with the Jets and the Dolphins and the
No,
Patriots.
it's NFC, AFC. It's totally different. It's
Oh, it's that. Excuse me. It doesn't sound totally different. It sounds very close. In fact, it's probably just your
T.
pronunciation.
Okay.
Well, I'll see you next Tuesday.
Now, Mr. President, Kid Rock, one of your close friends, good, great guy, right?
One of the best. You've seen that. We've had him in the White House. States beautiful women, great music, and more. Besides the women and the music, which is of course,
Huge supporter.
he's a rock star. It's not just that he's a supporter. It's that he's a patriot. He's a great guy. He loves his country. He doesn't do cancel culture. He doesn't go for people insulting his country. And then he lives a great life. Talented, wealthy, with beautiful women. And it's he's sort of the ideal American man. Other than me, obviously. Excuse me. Other than me, obviously, it's Trump and then Rock.
Kid Rock recently, and there's an article on The Hill that said he was quoted saying he wants to have a beer with Obama. Really wants to have a beer with Obama. What are your thoughts on this and him now?
Did he mean to poison Obama's beer? Or did he mean like let's have a drink?
No, it's like let's have a drink. Let's chill out.
Well, as you know, for many years I've been saying that Kid Rock is sort of a nuisance. He sort of annoys me. He's very ugly. stringy hair. He looks like a rat. His music is unlistenable. The only women he gets are sort of disease-riddled, like former porn stars who are like ready to kill themselves. And overall, he's probably one of the biggest pieces of shit walking the earth. So we don't have a lot of love for Kid Rock, and we love talented people, we love patriots, and as far as Kid Rock is concerned, I hope his trailer park collapses on him and kills him tonight. So that's what I think of Kid Rock. I've been very consistent on that for quite a long time. If you've been paying attention, quite a long time. I've known that there was something wrong with him, something very suspicious, not so trustworthy, and so it's called consistency.
Last thing I wanted to talk to you about, Mr. President, the show The View. I know you've had issues with the show and many hosts on the show in the past, especially Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar.
We always had a nice respect for Meghan McCain, though, as you know. Not her father, but her father didn't have, G cups. So bye-bye, old man. But hello, old man's daughter.
Now, I know you're not a big fan of The View, and they have, for Halloween, they have a costume contest every year. And one of the top finishers this year in the costume contest was a young boy, I'd say couldn't be older than 12 years old, dressed as you in a document-filled toilet. What are your thoughts on this? And what are your thoughts on the parent that would let their child dress like this?
I don't understand the costume. I was a toilet?
It's you basically as a document-filled toilet. You are the centerpiece of it. The toilet is around it, and all the documents are flying out of it.
Oh, the way I had a strong number 3 when we discussed. And then I used, because they're stupid, I used thick toilet paper because I dropped number 3s. They're so big they don't call them 2s. And they interpreted me using strong stock paper, very high stock card stock, almost like wedding invitation thickness. And that's what I have to use, because when you have powerful feces, you got to use strong TP bars. And my fecal matter matters. How about that? But what these people, what they do, what parents would do, this is worse than going trans. This is worse than that. And I think these parents should be arrested. I think possibly shot, or, given a trial and then possibly death penalty. And the kid should have to be taught very strong lessons about how you respect the president, how you treat adults.
So you think he should have a death penalty, this child?
No, excuse me. I'm not a monster. I said his parents should get the death penalty if convicted, and that he should maybe go to like an education camp and really learn how to be patriotic and respectful of presidents and other adults, not just me. Because if he'll do this, he'll probably do it to other adults. It's a very sad thing we're doing in our country.
Well, Mr. President, thank you so much for joining us. I know Halloween is very busy at Mar-A-Lago, lots of parties going on, so I appreciate you taking the time to sit with us. And also check out the patreon.com/MPGA. Holidays right around the corner. Get this gift for someone. Tons and tons of content on there, hours and hours and hours to catch up on. Hundreds of hours. So patreon.com/MPGA. Also getting back on the road a little bit here. I'll be in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania at the Harrisburg Comedy Zone, December 2nd and 3rd, one show each night. I'll be there. Mike Keegan will be opening for that one. He's actually been on the podcast before, one of the early episodes. So that's all I got here. Mr. President, the floor is yours.
Join a Making Podcasts Great Again Patreon. The bonus content is off the charts. And we're down to 2 months. It's holiday season. Show some appreciation for all the patriotism you've been getting. And at this point, you're sort of almost missing like 20% of the whole Making Podcasts Great Again universe. If you're not you're starting to get left behind. And we don't want that. Hey everybody, it's JL. How are you? It was me the whole time. Check out, I got my regular podcast. Great episode is up right now. As whenever you listen to this, I put it up Monday, Righteous PK. Give it a try if you're still listening. And costs you nothing. It's just another 45 minutes to an hour of your day, and you get to hear this lovely voice complaining about comedy and reviewing movies and talking about other shit. I have a Patreon, which is rather robust. So if you're feeling generous, if you want even more than making podcasts great again, go for that. And as far as live shows coming up, thank you to the folks who came out in Princeton, New Jersey. That was a fun 2 nights. Ann Arbor, Michigan, the 11th and the 12th, Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase. Really looking forward to those shows. November 23rd, Syracuse Funny Bone. Then December 17th in Mamaroneck, and then January 6th and 7th in Belmore, Long Island, and January 19th, Pittsburgh, PA. And I am looking to hopefully add Ohio, Cleveland area, Ohio gigs on the 20th and or 21st to follow up that Pittsburgh show on the 19th. So keep listening, keep following. If you're in any of those areas, please get tickets. And as usual, God help us all.